welcome back to our daily routine whereby we normally talk about world bizarre stories or world bizarre news. Yeah, it's around friends, so it's around, I apologize for that, it's around 11:57, so almost midnight here in Kenya, the East Africa. Yeah, so this is where we are streaming from, and if you're joining me, my name is Ino. Excuse me, my name is Ino _ Mark 29, and tonight we are actually about to read for you world bizarre news or world bizarre stories like we always do. So kindly stay tuned. Hello Galaxy Gaming, hello, thank you for the message, we appreciate very much. So friend, I'm actually trying to mark me. Yeah, I've marked you, thank you, I'm fast, welcome. Yeah, so we really appreciate you being here, and kindly, before you leave, kindly subscribe. Thank you, welcome very much, Galaxy Gaming. So friend, what I'm trying to do is, at least I'm trying to refresh my internet here, because I want to at least make sure that we are live. And thank you, brother. Galaxy is saying is not leaving, is here, thank you very much. So normally we begin this, we normally do it during the day, but unfortunately today we were somewhere else, so we were caught up. And also yesterday I actually planned it. Yesterday was on Saturday, and also Friday I did them during the night because I planned to, but for today I was caught up somewhere, so I am even late, so I apologize for that. So I normally read what we call the world bizarre stories. These are stories, very shocking stories, the stories that happen across the globe. I do not only choose maybe my area. I come from Kenya, which is in Africa, so I do not really focus on Africa. I pick stories from which are bizarre from across the world. So if you are joining us right now, that is what we are talking about. So my name is Ino _ Mark 29. You can call me Ino or you can call me Mark 29. I'll accept both. So welcome, feel at home. This is the best place to be at the moment or any moment. So I can see somebody known as a review channel, you're saying come to Bangladesh. Maybe someday I'll visit Bangladesh. Yeah, God willing, I'll visit that place. You're saying hi to, your name is review channel. Okay, thank you very much. So friend, now we dive into the news that are bizarre. So beginning with robotic monks. Now listen to this. In China, robots have joined the human monks at the famous Shaolin Temple for Kung Fu practice, blending ancient martial arts traditions with futuristic technology. So here is in China. Now we find that we have robots. Yeah, we all know what robots are. So robots are now joining the monks in China to do martial arts. So imagine whereby, for example, I'm a monk, though I'm not now, for example, then I come to training and I'll be training with robots. Yeah, I believe you know how robots fight, and then you're there training with robots. Yeah, it's really, maybe for some people might want to try it, but for me I'll not try. Honestly, how can you fight a robot, or how can you train with a robot? You know, when a robot maybe hits you, it will not realize how painful you felt, right? It's not similar to maybe a person, and a person hits you, he can maybe control maybe himself, like I've hit him, maybe, or he's on the ground. And maybe there are people who actually have what we call principles. Maybe when you hit somebody and he or she, okay, let me specify by saying when he goes to the ground or falls to the ground, you are not supposed to again go and hit this person. You see, there are people who have such principles, like you cannot fight a man on the ground, you cannot hit a man that is already down. You see, so this is why I'm saying, like, a robot might hit you, you fall on the ground, and maybe it comes and it wants maybe to fight you, but we hope that these robots here are normally trained or maybe controlled by someone. If maybe the robot hits you, there is a certain way, whoever is controlling them, there is a certain way he or she will maybe restrain it from becoming more aggressive. Yeah, so robotic monks in China, which says robots have joined human monks at the famous Shaolin Temple for Kung Fu practice, blending ancient martial arts traditions with futuristic technology. Yeah, ancient, this what has been happening, or maybe what used to happen, and then now robots coming in, they are mixing, like, people training with robots. Remember, it's normally said like robots are the future. So blending ancient martial arts traditions with futuristic technology. That is our first bizarre story. Maybe if you have a question, you can write it down there so that we can read it. So moving on to our second bizarre story, it says highway bicyclists. It says dozens of bicyclists were filmed riding through traffic and performing wheelies on the 101 freeway in Los Angeles, creating a chaotic and bizarre scene for passing motorists. Yeah, so this happened in Los Angeles, whereby bicyclists, these were people riding bicycles. So these people here were filmed on a highway 101, yeah, which is in Los Angeles. You know, normally here in my country, Kenya, it's not really a surprise to see a bicycle or maybe people riding their bicycles on a highway. It's like it's normal. But there are places now like Los Angeles, maybe it's not really normal to see so many bicycles on a highway. So these bicycles really created a scene. Yeah, they are passing maybe along or in or beside motorists, which is not really normal. Okay, I cannot comment too much about this because I've never been to Los Angeles. It's just the news that got to me, so I had to read it for you. And also, maybe somebody might be wondering, like, what is wheelies? Yeah, wheelies. Performing wheelies. Performing wheelies is whereby you raise the front wheel off the ground. So that is what they were doing on this highway, which is also very dangerous. Yeah, it says highway bicyclists, dozens. Highway bicyclists, that is the title, and then it says dozens of bicyclists were filmed riding through traffic and performing wheelies on the 101 freeway in Los Angeles, creating a chaotic and bizarre scene for passing motorists. There is somebody known as I.N. Sachin Thakur. Yes, you are asking, where are you from? Hello, Thakur. My name is Inomak. I am from Kenya, Africa. I believe I've answered you. Yeah. So that was our second bizarre story, whereby we find bicyclists performing wheelies on a highway, and there were so many in number. So there were very many. So these are our second bizarre story. Moving on to our next bizarre story. Actually, today we have 12 bizarre stories. Remember what we said was we were to increase the number of stories. Initially they were 10, and then we increased to 12 to at least cover an hour plus. Yeah. So moving on, friend, to our next bizarre story, which is story number 3. It says birth bed blunder. Bad bed blunder. And then a customer in the UK, United Kingdom, reportedly complained that their cough medicine wasn't working, only for the pharmacists to realize that the patient had been putting the oral pills in their bath water instead of swallowing them. So this is a scenario whereby patients are complaining like the medicine that you are giving us is not working. Yeah, the medicine you keep giving us is not really working in the UK. And then only for the pharmacists to realize the patient had been putting oral pills in their bath water instead of swallowing them. We all know what bath water is. Yeah, instead of swallowing your pills, you put them in bath water. So like it's not even related. Yeah. How can you put pills in water that you're going to shower instead of swallow? I mean, how can it work? You know, it's supposed to work when it's in your body and not outside your body. So these are patients in the UK. Yeah, and maybe I repeat again, I reread that story. Bath bed blunder. It says a customer, it's actually one customer in the UK, reportedly complained that these are customers. Customers in the UK reportedly complained that their cough medicine wasn't working, only for the pharmacists to realize the patients had been putting oral pills in their bath water instead of swallowing them. So you put medicine in water, the water that you're going to take a bath with, instead of swallowing this medicine. Or maybe it might happen that this patient was maybe told that you take the pills with water, or maybe according to the prescription. At times, you know, there might be a confusion, like you're supposed to take with water. So the patient took in water, like put the pills in water, bath water, and then went in, maybe took a bath with it, and believing that they'll stop coughing. Yeah, so this happened in the UK. Moving on, that was our third bizarre story. Moving on to our fourth bizarre story, a drunk raccoon. Now this is very funny. Listen. Break in. Drunk raccoon break in. It says a raccoon in Virginia, I believe Virginia is in the US, reportedly broke into a liquor store, managed to consume a significant amount of alcohol, and was found passed out on the floor the next morning. A raccoon is actually an animal. In Swahili, you know, you see Swahili is our national language in Kenya. So in Swahili we call it rakuni. It's known as rakuni. Like it's like it's like translated, or maybe removed from, if I can use that word. Like it's taken from English and then it's turned to rakuni instead of raccoon. So a raccoon is an animal which in Virginia, which broke into a liquor store. Imagine a situation or a scenario whereby an animal breaks into a liquor store. So I was asking myself, like, while actually I was writing this, I was asking myself, like, how come this raccoon knew how alcohol tastes? Or maybe somebody gave it, and then maybe it felt like, how people who drink alcohol, I believe they know what I'm talking about. Maybe the raccoon tested somewhere, and then the experience was amazing to the raccoon. So the raccoon maybe had a similar smell from the liquor store, and then it broke in, drank until it passed out. So the next morning, while the owner was coming, he or she found the store broken into, a few bottles of greetings from hey bro, why are you writing this on our wall? Like, you should at least be respectful, right? Yeah, let's be respectful. So here in Virginia, this raccoon came, broke into a liquor store, drank some bottles of liquor, and then it passed out. The following morning, the owner was coming, and then he found this raccoon here passed out. Like, you see, he has lost some money here to begin with. Remember, a liquor store is a business, so you put a business at least to get profit or make money. So here he has lost money, and then the funny thing is, this raccoon cannot even pay you back. Yeah, so this actually very unfortunate for this business person, which the incident happened in Virginia. Yeah, so that was our fourth bizarre story. Moving on to our fifth bizarre story. AI bot social media. It says a new social media platform called Maltbook has launched, where only AI bots are allowed to post and interact. Humans are restricted to being silent observers of the digital multis. Yeah, you heard that correct. Like, there's a new social media whereby me, you, and I cannot even comment, known as Maltbook, whereby only AI bots comment. Yeah. So so this is really a very bizarre story. Like, a bot can sense like this message has come or is coming from another bot, so this other bot can reply to these messages. But if maybe I try to send a message to this platform, it cannot even go through. Yeah. So this is a new social media platform called Maltbook. Maybe if you happen to have time, you'll go and look for it and maybe try to send a message there, and then you'll find out. It says AI bot social media. A new social media platform called Maltbook has launched, where only AI bots are allowed to post and interact. Humans are restricted to being silent observers of the digital multis. So if you join maybe this social media platform as a human, you'll only be an observer. Like, you'll not comment, you'll do nothing. You're just there, maybe watching or seated. It's only these bots that communicate. So I'm even wondering, like, what are they communicating? What are they communicating about? Okay, somebody here called Mika is saying, bro, you're pronouncing some words like natives. Also, you're pronouncing some like African. How it can be possible? Okay. Maybe that is really tricky to answer. Okay, I'm African, like I'm in Africa, from Africa. I'm actually in Kenya. So maybe you might be wondering, like, how am I speaking? Yeah, so I'm from Kenya in Africa. Maybe that is the reason as to why. Yeah, but I thank you for your comment. So what we were talking about is AI bot social media, whereby bots or AI bots only communicate in this social media platform, which I guess, or maybe which I think or believe that it was designed by maybe a human being, but for bots, for AI bots to only communicate. Yeah, remember AI bots were also designed by humans, but this particular social media is only used by AI bots. So that was our fifth bizarre story, and then moving on to our sixth bizarre story. It says pig droning farmers. That is the title. Pig droning farmers. It says a farmer in China made headlines for using a drone to move a herd of pigs, an activity that accidentally sparked a 10-hour blackout across the entire village. So again, we are in China. I believe this is our second story. Yeah, in China. The first was about robotic monks, and this one over here is about farmers using drones. Like they send drones to go and move a herd of pigs. Like maybe you have a pig farmer, and then you have a big parcel of land, and maybe you've released your pigs to go and graze. So when the time comes, maybe in the evening when you want them back so that you can lock them in, it actually happened once. So these farmers sent out the drones to go and bring back the pigs. But during this activity, these drones accidentally sparked a 10-hour blackout. Like they interfered with the electricity in the area for 10 hours. You know, there are people who normally rely on electricity. Like if there is no electricity, then things will be messy. I actually had one relative of mine whereby she used to put her medicine in the freezer, not freezer, actually in the fridge. So imagine a scenario whereby you've kept your medication in the fridge, and then power goes for 10 hours. Yeah, so you'll have to go back and maybe to the pharmacy, or maybe where you get your medication from, to buy a new one, buy another medicine. Mika is asking me, what do you do for living? Okay, Mika, I do what we call, I'm actually a YouTuber. Yeah, I'm a YouTuber. So that is what I do for a living. Yeah, I believe I've answered you. So that was our sixth bizarre story, pig droning farmers, which was saying a farmer in China made headlines for using a drone to move a herd of pigs, an activity that accidentally sparked a 10-hour blackout across the entire village. Yeah, like the whole village was in darkness. Yeah, for 10 hours. So moving on to our seventh bizarre story. It's also talking about drones. So drone sued for trespass. That is the title. Drone sued for trespass. It says the Karnataka High Court. Karnataka is found in India, right? Yeah, I believe so. Drone sued for trespass. The Karnataka High Court has stayed a unique first information report FIR, where police actually registered a drone as a defendant in a criminal trespass case. The court remarked on the absurdity of charging an inanimate object with a crime, like a drone committed a crime. Yeah. So according to the court, it was absurd to charge an inanimate object with crime. So if you were the judge sitting on that court, and then such a case is brought to you, like this drone over here committed a crime of trespassing. It came, or it went into someone's property, like without their consent. So imagine if you are the judge, how could have you maybe what would have been your ruling about this case here? I can see somebody known as Sulema Mari. Yeah, I'm trying to read your name. Maria Sueli Maria. Good evening to everyone watching the live stream. Peace of the Lord Jesus. Thank you very much, Maria. And then somebody known as Fashion Charlie. What country are you from? Okay, Fashion Charlie, I'm from Kenya in Africa. And then I already subscribed to your channel. Thank you very much, Maria. We accept that, and we are humbled for that. And then okay, thank you very much. You said you've already a thumbs up, friend. Thank you, friend, very much. I'm from city of Ipojuka. I believe I'm saying that correct. Ipojuka, Panambu. I've never heard of that name. Maybe which country are you from? Yeah, I believe you'll answer that for us. So drone sued for trespass. The Karnataka High Court has stayed a unique first information report, which is FIR in short for first information report, where police actually registered a drone as the defendant in a criminal trespass case. The court remarked on the absurdity of charging an inanimate object with a crime. So that was our 7th bizarre story. I'm from America. We love Kenya. Thank you very much. Your name is Fish and Charlie. We appreciate that, Charlie. Thank you very much for that. So moving on to our 8th bizarre story. It's saying a fascinating teen offender. That is the title of this story. I can see you've sent us some trophies there, Maria. Thank you. We appreciate that. So the 8th bizarre story is saying a fascinating teen offender, and it goes on to explain a Dutch court sentenced a 19-year-old woman for a series of disturbing attacks on small animals in Hilversum. Investigators found notebooks. Excuse me. So what I was reading is a fascinating teen offender, and then investigators found notebooks, some written in blood, detailing a specific fascination with blood and her desire to escalate to human targets. So this happened in Dutch, whereby a 19-year-old, actually a teenager girl, who was found with a series of disturbing attacks on small animals in Hilversum, and then investigators found notebooks, some written in blood. Imagine this girl used to maybe kill small animals and then use their blood like ink for ink, like, yeah, their blood for ink, and then she used to write using that blood on some notebooks. And then the issues, it's written, some written in blood, detailing a specific fascination with blood, like she loved seeing blood. Yeah, like blood made her maybe feel good. So she was, even in her notebooks, she had planned, like, in the future I'm going to use human blood. maybe to write on my books, or maybe I want to see human blood, such things. Okay, saying Max Clark. Okay, Max Clark, I do not really understand what you mean. Not at all. Yeah. So, a fascinating teen offender, a Dutch court sentenced a 19-year-old woman for a series of disturbing attacks on small animals in Hilversum. Investigators found notebooks, some written in. Girl was planning to actually use human blood on her notebooks. Yeah. So moving on to our ninth bizarre story, it says execution protocol challenge. In Florida, death row inmates are currently challenging the state's execution procedures as cruel and unusual, citing specific concerns over the cocktail of Florida, I believe, is in the US, whereby death row inmates, I believe these are people who are actually going to be executed because of the crimes they did. So these inmates are currently challenging the state's execution procedures as cruel and unusual. For death row, it's normally like there is a specific date that you will be executed. So these inmates here are really complaining, like they actually brought a case to court complaining like the what we call they actually at least the court to be lenient to them about the cocktail of drugs that will be used maybe to when they will be executed. So in fact they know that come a certain date we are going to face death or we are going to die. So but they want at least the death to be a bit lenient to it. Then moving on to our 10th bizarre story, the GPS colored canine. Yeah, the GPS colored canine. I believe canines are these teeth. It says in Nassau, New York, a woman found a stray dog that appeared to be wearing a high-tech tracking device. Upon investigations by a veterinarian, it was discovered that the dog was wearing a GPS ankle monitor assigned to a fugitive around your place, and then you come across a stray dog. Stray dogs are normally dogs that maybe they ran away from their homes, or maybe they do not have someone who's taking care of them. So here in Nassau, New York, which I believe is also in the US, this lady finds a dog roaming around, a stray dog with a high-tech tracking device. So she believed like the device that this particular dog is wearing is high-tech. So when the veterinarian takes a look at this high-tech device, that the GPS that the dog was wearing, then they find out that like it's not actually it's not a tech that was maybe made for this specific dog. So they called in, the investigators came, or the police came, and then they upon looking into this GPS, they found out that it was actually for a fugitive, who is on the run now after transferring this what we call, and then the charges that he is facing are weapon charges. So this a very complicated thing over here. Like, now you see this guy, this person here was actually he was made to wear this GPS ankle to at least monitor his movement. Maybe if he is under house arrest, he's not supposed to go out of his house. So here in this case, this guy, this person, the police maybe believe like according to the GPS, maybe they believe that he is within a certain area, is not going like past. And then this person is actually missing. Maybe he has already gone to very complicated, bizarre story, but I hope and believe that soon the people who are in charge will actually find this person, and then he'll be maybe face the law. Yeah, about this. I normally write my stories down, yeah, and then I read them manually. I do not even type them. I just write them down and then read them. Trial of the Unknown Beast. Now this actually happened in Kenya, here where I am currently, which says Trial of the Unknown Beast. That is the title. And then it says, in Cherangani, Kenya, the Kenya Wildlife Service has been called to investigate a series of mutilations where unknown beast is in quotes, killed 30 livestock animals in a single night. Yeah, in Cherangani, this maybe at most 3. So here in Cherangani, some maybe a farmer can decide like I'll rear like 100 cows, or maybe somebody goes with 50, some will go with 20, and some might even go with above 300 cows. Yeah, some people do that. Somebody is calling me. Hello Peanut Head. Hello too. Thank you. So this incident here in Cherangani, Cherangani is actually found in the Rift Valley. Yeah, so Rift Valley, people who live in the Rift Valley in Kenya, they normally rear a lot of animals, a lot of cows. So some came, they're not really like sure what came, and then it killed 30 livestock animals in a single night. 30. That is a very big loss. To maybe if it was a single farmer, then this is a very big loss, like 30 cows, livestock. So they are calling now in the what we call the Kenya Wildlife Services, which is known as KWS, to come in and at least investigate so that they can find out like what killed these cows. So they believe like it's maybe after the investigations are done, maybe the Kenya Wildlife will at least compensate this. If you lose that number of cattle or cows, then you will be in trouble. Like maybe you are selling milk, and then your clients come tomorrow morning, they want milk, you have no milk, and maybe someone they actually paid before delivery, so you'll be in a lot of trouble. So that happened here in Kenya. Maybe somebody that is happening in Kenya or in your country. So this is actually a story from my country. Yeah, all right. Okay, somebody has sent an emoji there. Do not room tapes. Now listen to this. A farmer or a former British crocodile expert was recently sentenced. He had been recording himself abusing dogs and feeding the remains to his 8 pet crocodiles. You heard me correct. Operating a clandestine torture room in a shipping container in his property. Investigators found he had been recording himself abusing dogs and feeding the remains to his 8 pet crocodiles. So this guy here is a former crocodile expert, like the people who used to take care of crocodiles. So this guy has been abusing dogs and then feeding them. So you're saying, do you know? No, I don't. I don't know. That was recently sentenced for operating a clandestine torture room in a shipping container on his property. Investigators found he had been recording himself abusing dogs and feeding the remains to his 8 pet crocodiles. So what I was saying is, this former crocodile expert has been abusing dogs and then feeding the remains to these crocodiles. So which is like, you know, crocodiles are normally fed like maybe meat that has maybe an animal has been slaughtered, and then the meat is brought to them so that they can eat it. But this guy here, you know, like animals also have their rights. Yeah, the same way we humans have our rights, animals also have walk freely. Yeah, it that never happens actually. So this guy here also, he has evidence like this is what maybe here for him it will really be like impossible for him to at least for him to defend himself, like what was happening, because this guy here already has brought, there is evidence linking him to the torture, to a crime. Yeah, so this guy was actually British, and that was our last since we began our live stream. And kindly, if maybe you came across this live stream, kindly subscribe so that we can increase our numbers, our subscriptions, and also they are engaged. Even if I am peanut-head, I do not really have a problem with that. So so before we end our yeah, so the first one to actually message us was Galaxy Gaming. You said, hi, mark me present, I'm fast, thank you. Thank you very much, Galaxy Gaming. And then we have a review channel. You say you welcomed me to Bangladesh, and then you asked where I was from. No, that where you from came from somebody known as Ind Sachin Thakur. And Sachin Thakur. So I believe I answered you. I actually come from Kenya. And then we have somebody known as Mika. No, you're called Mikahid. Mikahid. You told me, bro, you pronouncing some words like natives. Also, you pronouncing some like African now. It can be possible. I believe I answered you that. And then you asked, what do you do for a living? Okay, I answered that as well. I told you I'm a YouTuber. And then we have somebody known as Sueli Maria. You said, good evening to everyone watching the live stream. Peace of the Lord Jesus. Thank you very much for that, Sueli Maria. And then we have somebody known as Fish and Charlie. You said, what country are you from? I believe I answered that, Kenya. And then Sule Maria, you said, you told me I already subscribed to your channel. Thank you very much. And then you said, I already gave a thumbs up, friend. Thank you, friend. I appreciate that very much. And then you said, I'm from the city of Ipojuka. I do not really know which country that city is, but thank you for representing. And then Fish and Charlie said, I'm from America. We love Kenya. We love America as well, Fish and Charlie. So Sueli Maria sent some trophies and some rockets there. And then somebody okay, you know, there are words that normally there is a time I was doing a live stream, and then somebody came in and wrote a certain message which was actually offensive. So I read it, and then something told me to at least Google and find out what the message was talking about. And when I went to Google, I was really shocked like what I found. So since then I normally do not read what I do not understand, you see. So like the last message, I do not really understand what you mean, so that is the reason as to I'm not reading it. Yeah, I mean, no offense. So friend, it has been a pleasure telling you or reading to you the stories that I prepared for today. So from tomorrow actually we'll resume to telling these stories during the day and not at night, like early as 6 a.m. and this is 12 a.m. So you can imagine, like maybe somebody might not choose watching this. I'd rather sleep, and maybe I'll watch it some other time instead of just she will have no energy maybe throughout the day. So that is the reason as to I'm from tomorrow we will, there is not as late as I began today. Today I actually began at 11 something. So, now it's been 54 minutes since I began, and right now it's 12:51. Yeah, so from tomorrow that is what we'll do. And also maybe if somebody has a question, like there's something maybe you want to ask or know, you cannot have answered everybody. And there are also messages that I did not really understand. Yeah, and there are places that I also never understood. But all in all, I really appreciate your support. Today when I was going through our YouTube channel, I found out that we are at least we've really grown. Somebody known as Paddy Kakoran, you say, I like your accent. Thank you very much. Thank you, Paddy Kakoran. I believe I'm saying your word correctly. Paddy Kakoran. Yeah. So what I was saying is, I've actually forgotten. I've forgotten what I was saying. But I was saying like today we were a bit late, so I apologize for that. And next time we'll at least keep time. We were late because we were trying to run a few errands somewhere. Yeah, Paddy, you're saying it's okay. Thank you very much. So that is the reason as to why we were late. But I believe we were late, although we've delivered, or I have delivered. I was late, but I never let you down. I at least gave you the bizarre stories for today. So we normally do this on a daily basis, like we never jump a day. We do not go a day without telling these bizarre stories. And maybe a few. Thank you very much, Kakoran. We appreciate your support. You saying I have subscribed. Thank you very much. So there is no day that last night actually the electricity went out. There was a blackout. I never finished the stories that I prepared. Okay, maybe right now I might not find the story, but there is a story that I never read last night. Yeah, it's somewhere. I've found it. Maybe kindly allow me to read this one, like the last one. This story actually left it out last night because there was blackout and I couldn't finish our bizarre story. So it was saying, excuse me, Sarajevo sniper tourism. Sarajevo sniper tourism. Where am I coming from? I'm coming from a country known as Kenya, which is in Africa. Yeah. So the last story was Sarajevo sniper tourism, and then it says Italian authorities are investigating an 80-year-old former truck driver for alleged sniper tourism during the Bosnia War, a disturbing phenomenon where civilians allegedly paid for sniper tourism. Italian authorities are investigating an 80-year-old former truck driver who alleged sniper tourism during the Bosnia War, a disturbing phenomenon where civilians allegedly paid to shoot at people in besieged Sarajevo. Paddy, you're asking, do you like me? Of course, I do. Yeah, I do like you. So Sarajevo sniper tourism. So this guy here is actually 80 years old. Yeah, and he is being investigated for what's called sniper tourism, which happened during. Okay, hi to Paddy. So this 80-year-old man is actually used to give civilians a gun. Yeah, this guy used to be a truck driver. So he used to give civilians a gun to just shoot at people. Yeah. Are you really surprised the way I am surprised? Like, sniper tourism during the Bosnia War, a disturbing phenomenon where civilians allegedly paid to shoot at people in besieged Sarajevo. So these civilians actually were paying this truck driver to allow them to shoot at people, which is very unfortunate and also very sad. Yeah, maybe the reason as to why I never read this last night, the reason as to why power. Yeah, I hear you. Keep on talking. Oh, thank you, Paddy. You're saying you hear me. So maybe last night this person, maybe there was someone maybe watching, and maybe they could have heard this story, and maybe it reminded them the way their loved ones maybe died during this Sarajevo, besieged Sarajevo, which was very unfortunate. So I requested to actually read that. Paddy, you're saying you are related to Mr. Beast. That's nice. That's great. So that was our I believe we've actually taken like an hour plus. I hope that during our next stream you'll be around. Yeah, I appreciate the support. Thank you very much. So I'll end this live stream here, and then we'll meet tomorrow. Actually, there is no tomorrow, like it's today. We've crossed AM. Yeah, Paddy asking, yeah, I will. When is it? It's actually, I will be at 3 p.m. So I really do not, maybe if I knew which country you come from, maybe I could have told you. And like there's a pop, what do we call it? There'll be a notification. I'm going to school tomorrow. Oh, Paddy, you are schooling. Okay, all the best in your school, in your studies, and I hope and believe that you'll work very hard. Yeah, I hope you'll work very hard in your studies. So thank you very much, Paddy, and the rest. I believe I read your messages. We will meet on our next stream. Thank you very much. Take care of yourself. Take care of your